Hi guys, Aaron Dorr here with Georgia Gun Owners. If you were involved in our fight to pass constitutional carry at all last session, you know the name Jeff Mullis. Senator Jeff Mullis, longtime chairman of the Senate Rules Committee, was nothing but an enemy to gun owners for all of his years in elected office. This year, he used his spot as the chairman of the Rules Committee to do everything he could to slow walk and block constitutional carry. As the director of Georgia Gun Owners, it was the highlight of my session to flood his cell phone with phone calls and emails and text messages from gun owners demanding that he do his job and pass the bill. Jeff Mullis didn't like it very much. He called on me and GGO team members to be prosecuted because we had people calling him and telling him to do his job and pass the bill. He told you guys to screw yourself. That was his phrase, right? When you texted him and said, stop blocking constitutional carry. But at the end of the day, we humbled Jeff Mullis. We humbled him right down to the bone. He was forced to pass our bill through his committee. It went onto the floor, and as you all know, it is now law. And it was a great program, and we loved doing it. But deep down, I'll be honest, I was looking forward to the May 24 primary because I knew this would be our best chance to expose what he had done in his district and give the voters a chance to decide if he was actually the pro-gun leader that they deserved. Unfortunately, or fortunately for Jeff Mullis, but unfortunately for GGO members, Jeff Mullis decided not to seek re-election when Colton Moore announced his primary against him. And so while Jeff Mullis is off the ballot in this district, as you're about to find out, his influence is very much involved in this race. So if you're a gun owner in Senate District number 53, for the first time in a long time, you have an open seat primary in this race. We're discussing this area here in northwest Georgia. It encompasses portions or all of 5 different counties, and it's a very red county, a very red district rather. Whoever wins the May 24 primary will be the next senator from that seat for the next 4 years. So that's the good news. The bad news is we've got various candidates running for office, and as you're about to see, one of them is very pro-gun, one of them is not. We're going to begin with Colton Moore. Now, as you guys know, GGO focuses heavily on giving you guys the information you have to make an informed decision on who's pro-gun and who's not. We use candidate surveys, public statements, their websites. We use news articles. We use their record if they were in office before. Everything we can to give you guys the real facts to make your own decision. And when it comes to Colton Moore, we have great things to report. Colton Moore signed his GGO candidate survey the same day he got it from us, and he signed it 100% pro-gun. That means that he's on the record publicly opposing red flag gun seizures, universal background checks, attempts to ban our AR-15s and their 30-round magazines, the entire gun control agenda. It also, though, means that he's on the record saying he's not just going to vote pro-gun. Colton Moore has promised to lead the fight for gun rights by sponsoring pro-gun bills. You know, it's nice when a person says they'll vote pro-gun, but honestly, these days in 2022, we've got plenty of rhinos in Atlanta who will vote pro-gun when the bill comes on the floor for a vote. What we don't have are many champions. We have some, but not many. And so when a candidate says, hey, you know what? I'm not just going to go down there and vote yes when I'm told to vote yes. I'm going to lead that fight and sponsor pro-gun bills. That gets our attention, and it should get your attention as well. One of the bills that Colton said he would sponsor for GGO next session is the Second Amendment Preservation Act. Now, you guys know this. With constitutional carry on the books, SAPA legislation is one of the biggest objectives that we have going forward. What SAPA does is tell Joe Biden that if you could ever pass gun control through Congress, which he probably cannot ever, or if you keep passing gun control by fiat through executive orders, you might do that, but we're not going to help you enforce it here in Georgia. SAPA law says that Georgia cops, our troopers, our deputies, our city police officers, they enforce Georgia gun laws. They enforce the laws of our state. And if Joe Biden wants to mandate tyranny across the country and here in Georgia, he's going to have his own manpower come into our state to enforce it. Because under SAPA law, we will not let our officers be commandeered and be forced to be a part of his agenda. Colton Moore promised to lead that fight by sponsoring that bill. if he's elected in the upcoming primary. That's the great news. Strong survey. I also forgot to mention that not only has he surveyed pro-gun, Colton Moore has previously been in the Georgia House. He spent 2 years in the House where he was a leader in the fight for constitutional carry. The only reason why Colton Moore got out of that position and not run for re-election was he primaried Jeff Mullis for that Senate seat. Now, he didn't win that primary, but that's why he left office in the House. But during his time in the House, his actions and his work to advance constitutional carry matched up with what he says he'll do now on his candidate survey. So a good track record and a good survey from Colton Moore. Now, moving on to Stephen Henry, though, you can take everything we said about Colton Moore and just do a 180, because it's all pretty much exactly the opposite. Stephen Henry refuses to sign his Georgia gun owners candidate survey. Now, a GGO member called Stephen Henry just a couple of days ago and said, I just talked to GGO, and they said Colton Moore surveyed 100%, and you won't sign your survey. And Stephen Henry, bless his heart, said, well, I didn't get the survey. Now, the thing is that this is not our first rodeo. And we thought Stephen Henry would say that. And so when we sent Stephen his survey, we sent it via certified mail. So we know exactly what day and exactly what time Stephen got his candidate survey from us. So we know for a fact he got the survey. The thing is, he refuses to sign it. So I can't tell you how he'll vote on a red flag gun seizure bill because he won't tell us. Would he vote for universal background checks? Biden's gun registration scheme? I don't know. I don't know. It's being pushed by almost every single Democrat here in Georgia. It's being pushed by a bunch of Republicans at the national level. It's putting down ballot pressure on our state legislature. Would Stephen Henry capitulate and back that? Hard to say. He won't answer the question. He's dodging it. How about banning our AR-15 or 30-round magazines? Stacey Abrams' number one agenda. Will Stephen Henry fight against that? He won't tell you. He won't tell us. How about SEPA? Would he vote for, let alone champion, would he vote for SEPA legislation? He won't answer the question. Every single gun rights question we have asked Stephen Henry, he is hiding. So the question you have to ask yourself, and you have to ask Stephen Henry, more importantly, is why would he try to hide it? What's he trying to do? All we can tell you is that in our experience, when a candidate hides or tries to hide their views on our gun rights by refusing to sign a candidate survey, it is often a sign that they are already mentally preparing to be a part of the moderate rhino swamp here in Atlanta. And the last thing they want to do is put their views on paper and tell folks where they actually stand. And so in the case of Stephen Henry, he is very clearly and actively trying to hide his views when it comes to your gun rights. If all we knew about Stephen Henry was that he was the heir apparent, the hand-picked, groomed replacement of Jeff Mullis, and that's what he is. Jeff has endorsed him, gone around the district and showed him off at events. If all we knew about Stephen Henry was that his best buddy was Jeff Mullis, that'd be concerning. If all we knew about him is that he refused to sign his candidate survey, that'd be very concerning. Taken together, it is a very red alert for gun owners, and you guys have to be aware of this. During session, when we were pounding on Jeff Mullis with text messages and phone calls and everything, a lot of you got this message back from Jeff where he said, screw you. He would text back to his own constituents saying, screw you. Many of you got that message from Jeff Mullis. And that made you mad, and it should make you mad. What I would tell you is that when Stephen Henry, now here today, refuses to sign the GGO candidate survey, when he won't tell Georgia's most powerful gun rights organization where he stands on your gun rights, that is exactly the same thing. This is Stephen Henry saying screw you to gun owners in District 53. So guys, if you're out and about in the district and you come across Colton Moore, be sure and thank him for his time in the Georgia House fighting for gun owners. Thank him for his strong candidate survey, and thank you for promising to lead the fight on the Second Amendment Preservation Act. At the same time, you should also contact Stephen Henry and ask him, what are you hiding? Why won't you sign the Georgia Gun Owners Candidate Questionnaire? Are you planning to make a deal with hyper-moderates in Atlanta and back gun control next session? What are you trying to hide? Guys, those are the questions you have to ask. I hope you guys help us out. Share this video far and wide so every gun owner knows where these two candidates stand. This is important information. The primary is coming up quick. Share it on social media. Share it by email. Get the word out there. And join up with this fight at joingggo.com to get more involved today. Thank you.